Commander Jake Harrison stood at the large window of the diplomatic station and watched the stars. The station floated in space near a planet called Kepler 442b. Jake had been here for 3 years now. He was in charge of all the humans who worked with the aliens in this part of space. The station was huge and shaped like a wheel. Different parts of it belonged to different alien races. The humans had their own section, but they spent most of their time in the shared areas. Jake liked it that way. It showed that humans were friendly and wanted to work with everyone. Dr. Lisa Monroe walked up to Jake. She carried a data pad in her hands. Lisa was the chief scientist who studied aliens. She had spent her whole life learning about the different races in the galaxy. She knew more about alien cultures than almost any other human. "The morning briefing is ready," Lisa said. "The Vorthak want to discuss trade routes again. The Zephyrians are asking about our mining rights on the outer planets." Jake nodded. The Vorthak were tall reptile-like creatures with green scales and yellow eyes. They were very smart and controlled a lot of trade in this part of space. The Zephyrians looked like giant insects with 6 arms and could think very fast. They always wanted to expand their territory. "What about the others?" Jake asked. "The Luxari are happy with the current agreements. The Neptari want to set up a new research base in the water worlds. The Ethereals said they will think about our proposal for cultural exchange." Jake smiled. The Luxari were made of living crystal and spoke by changing colors. The Neptari lived underwater and looked like intelligent dolphins with hands. The Ethereals were pure energy beings that glowed and could barely be seen. Then there were the Verdani, who were like walking trees, and the Nexus, who were artificial intelligence machines in metal bodies. All these races had been part of the Galactic Coalition for hundreds of years. Humans had joined about 200 years ago. At first, the aliens had been suspicious of humans. They had heard stories about human wars and violence. But humans had worked hard to show they were different now. Captain Ryan Peters sat in the command center of his ship, the UES Harmony. The ship was supposed to be for exploration and science. It looked peaceful from the outside. The aliens who saw it thought it was just for studying planets and stars. Ryan knew better. Hidden beneath the white metal hull were weapons and armor. The ship could fight if needed, but the aliens never saw that side of it. Ryan had been flying ships like this for 10 years. Every human ship in space had the same secret. "Status report," Ryan said to his crew. "All systems normal." "Captain," said Lieutenant Commander Steve Walsh. Steve was the ship's security officer. "Though the aliens thought he was just a safety inspector, we are on course for the Tau Ceti system. The Vorthak ships are keeping their distance." "Good. Make sure our science equipment is visible when we dock. I want them to see we are just researchers." On Mars, Colonel Amy Foster looked at screens showing the entire solar system. Her office was deep underground in what everyone thought was a research base. The signs outside said it was for studying Mars geology. The truth was very different. Mars had been turned into a huge military base over the past 50 years. The red planet was hollow in many places now, filled with weapons, ships, and soldiers. Amy controlled a network of similar bases on dozens of human worlds. All of them were hidden as research centers or colonies. "Ma'am, we have new intelligence from the outer systems," said her aide, a young man named Lieutenant Danny Cooper. "The Vorthak fleet movements are increasing," Amy frowned. For months now, their spies had been reporting strange activities. Alien fleets were moving in patterns that did not make sense for normal trade or exploration. Something was happening, but they could not figure out what. "Send the data to Earth Command. Make sure it goes through the secure channels." Dr. Caroline Brooks worked in her laboratory on Europa Station. Europa was one of Jupiter's moons covered in ice. The station was supposed to study the ocean under the ice. Caroline did study the ocean, but she also worked on other projects. Her real job was developing new technologies for human defense. She created better armor, stronger weapons, and faster communication systems. The aliens who visited the station only saw her studying fish and water samples. They never saw the military equipment she built in the hidden levels below. Caroline looked at her latest creation. It was a small device that could disrupt alien electronics. She had tested it on captured alien equipment and it worked perfectly. Soon every human ship and base would have these devices. The key to humanity's success was the lie they had been telling for 2 centuries. When humans first met the aliens, they were careful about what information they shared. The history files they gave to the Coalition were edited. They removed all the parts about human wars, conquests, and military genius. Instead, the aliens learned about human art, music, and science. They heard about how humans had evolved beyond violence. The stories made humans sound like natural peacekeepers who just wanted to help everyone get along. Dr. Karen Webb was the person responsible for maintaining this lie. She worked on Earth as the chief historian for alien relations. Her job was to make sure that all the information given to aliens supported the peaceful human image. The Vorthak are asking for more details about the European wars of the 20th century. Her assistant told her, give them the standard files about the peace treaties and reconstruction. Nothing about the actual fighting or strategies. This careful control of information had worked for 200 years. The aliens saw humans as the perfect mediators. When different species had conflicts, they called on humans to help solve the problems. Humans were happy to help because it gave them access to alien technology and territory. Commander Tony Rodriguez managed a small outpost near the center of the galaxy. His job was to monitor communications between the different alien races. The aliens thought he was just studying how their languages evolved. Really, he was spying on them. Tony had learned something disturbing in recent months. The alien communications were using new codes that he could not break. Important messages were being sent between the major alien worlds, and humans could not read them. This had never happened before. Every day, Jake Harrison welcomed alien visitors to the diplomatic station. Every day, humans across the galaxy continued their peaceful work. They studied planets, helped solve disputes, and shared their culture with alien friends. But underneath this peaceful surface, another truth was waiting. Humans had not forgotten how to fight. They had simply chosen to hide that knowledge until the right time came. That time was approaching faster than anyone realized. Admiral Helen Parker sat in her office deep beneath the Rocky Mountains on Earth. The office did not exist on any official maps. Most humans did not know it was there. The aliens certainly did not know about it. Helen controlled all of humanity's hidden military forces from this secret place. She stared at the message on her screen and felt her blood turn cold. After 2 centuries of careful spying and code breaking, her intelligence teams had finally decoded the alien communications that had been puzzling them for months. "Get me Commander Rodriguez." Immediately, she said to her. Aide Tony Rodriguez appeared on the communication screen from his outpost near the Galactic Center. His face was grim. "Admiral, you have seen the translations?" "I have." "Tell me this is some kind of mistake." "I wish I could, ma'am. We have confirmed it through 6 different sources. The Vorthak, Zephyrians, Luxari, Neptari, Ethereals, and Verdani have been planning this for 30 years. Helen felt sick. 6 of the 8 coalition species had been working together in secret. They were planning to enslave all of humanity. The only species not involved were the Nexus machines and the Verdani plants, who apparently had refused to join the conspiracy. "What exactly are they planning?" Helen asked, though she already knew the answer would be terrible. "They call it the Protection Protocol. They plan to create a fake crisis that threatens human colonies. Then they will offer to protect us by placing all human territory under direct alien control. Once they have control, we become their permanent servants." The plan was brilliant in its cruelty. The aliens would not destroy humanity. Instead, they would keep humans alive to serve them. Humans were useful for their intelligence and adaptability, but the aliens believed humans were too weak and peaceful to resist. Lieutenant Sarah Kim was piloting a routine supply run from Earth to Proxima Centauri when she saw something that changed everything. Her ship's sensors picked up massive energy signatures near Jupiter. This was supposed to be empty space. Sarah activated her ship's stealth systems and moved closer to investigate. What she found made her heart race. Dozens of Vorthak and Zephyrian warships were gathered in the shadow of Jupiter's largest moon. They were not supposed to be there. She recorded everything her sensors could detect. The ships were not just meeting, they were preparing for war. Weapon systems were charged, shields were up, and the formations were clearly military in nature. Sarah managed to get close enough to intercept some of their communications. Her translation computer worked frantically to decode the alien languages. When the translations appeared on her screen, she could barely believe what she was reading. "Phase 3 begins in 72 hours, said one Vorthak commander. "All human colonies in the outer systems will be surrounded. They will have no choice but to accept our protection." "The humans will never suspect," replied a Zephyrian leader. "They think we are their friends. They think they are safe because they gave up violence." Sarah's hand shook as she saved the recordings and prepared to transmit them to Earth. She had discovered the beginning of humanity's enslavement. Director Marcus Stone managed what everyone thought was a simple farming colony on Mars. The Red Dome. Structures looked like they grew food for the expanding human population. The aliens who visited saw fields of crops and research into better farming methods. The truth was very different. Marcus received Admiral Parker's emergency message and immediately activated Protocol 7. All across the colony, hidden panels slid open in the ground. Massive weapon turrets rose from beneath the fake farm fields. The dome structures split apart to reveal military production facilities that had been building weapons and ships for decades. Within hours, the peaceful farming colony had transformed into a fortress. Similar transformations were happening on human worlds throughout the galaxy. Research stations revealed themselves as military bases. Civilian ships dropped their disguises and showed their true nature as warships. Dr. Karen Webb finally understood why humanity's leaders had insisted on the peaceful lie for so long. She had always wondered why they worked so hard to hide human military history from the aliens. Now she knew the answer. They needed time, she said to her assistant. Time to study alien technology. Time to understand their weaknesses. Time to prepare for the war that would eventually come. The peaceful facade had been a brilliant strategy. While the aliens thought humans had evolved beyond violence, humanity had actually been preparing for the greatest war in galactic history. Captain Nicole Davis commanded what the aliens thought was a simple cargo ship. The UES Merchant was registered as a commercial vessel that carried supplies between human colonies. Nicole had been pretending to be a peaceful trader for 5 years. When Admiral Parker's message reached her, Nicole smiled for the first time in months. She activated her ship's hidden systems and watched as the cargo bay walls retracted. Beneath the fake cargo containers were enough weapons to destroy a small fleet. "All hands, this is the captain," she announced to her crew. "Operation Longshot is now active. We are no longer pretending to be merchants. Prepare for combat operations." Similar scenes were playing out on hundreds of human ships across the galaxy. Cargo vessels became destroyers. Research ships revealed themselves as carriers. Even the smallest human shuttles had hidden weapons and armor. Colonel Ben Carter led the defense preparations on Tau Ceti Prime, a human colony that the aliens considered completely harmless. The colony appeared to be focused on agriculture and basic manufacturing. Ben had spent 3 years maintaining this illusion. When the activation codes arrived, Ben authorized the revelation of the colony's true nature. The agricultural domes that covered the surface were actually disguised military installations. Each dome could retract to reveal powerful orbital defense cannons. "Sir, we have Vorthak ships approaching," reported his communications officer. "They appear to be moving into attack positions." "Perfect. They still think we are defenseless farmers. Let them get closer before we show them what we really are." Dr. Rachel Thompson worked on Titan, one of Saturn's moons. Her official job was botanical research, studying how Earth plants could be modified to grow in alien environments. The greenhouse domes on Titan were famous throughout the coalition as examples of human scientific achievement. The plants Rachel grew were indeed remarkable, but not in the way the aliens thought. These were not normal crops. They were organic computers, living machines that could process information and coordinate military activities across multiple star systems. When Rachel activated the Titan facility, her plants began networking with similar installations throughout human space. Within minutes, a biological internet was coordinating human defenses across dozens of worlds. Commander Alex Turner had spent 8 years running what appeared to be a cultural exchange program between humans and aliens. He organized art exhibitions, student exchanges, and diplomatic visits. The aliens loved the program because it proved how peaceful and friendly humans were. Alex's real job was running the largest spy network in galactic history. Every cultural exchange was an opportunity to gather intelligence. Every art exhibition was a chance to place listening devices. Every diplomatic visit gave human agents access to alien government buildings. The network Alex had built included thousands of human agents spread throughout alien space. They had spent decades learning alien languages, studying alien military tactics, and identifying weak points in alien defenses. Major Katie Lewis managed the Luna base, which everyone thought was a simple research facility on Earth's moon. Scientists visited Luna to study geology and conduct experiments in low gravity. The base appeared small and peaceful from orbit. Katie activated the base's true systems and watched as sections of the moon's surface opened like flower petals. Luna had been hollowed out over 50 years and turned into the largest military fortress in human space. The facility contained enough firepower to destroy entire alien fleets. All weapon systems online, reported her tactical officer. We have clear firing solutions on the alien ships positioning themselves around Earth. The aliens had made a fatal mistake. They had positioned their ships to surround human worlds expecting easy surrender. Instead, they had placed themselves in perfect range of humanity's hidden weapons. As the truth spread throughout human space, one thing became clear to everyone involved. The peaceful humans that the aliens thought they knew had never really existed. Humanity had been playing a game of deception for 2 centuries, and now it was time to reveal who they really were. Admiral Helen Parker stood before the massive communication array, deep beneath Earth's surface. For 200 years, humans had spoken to the galaxy with carefully chosen words, always sounding peaceful and friendly. Today that would change forever. Open channels to all human installations, ships, and colonies, she ordered. Full spectrum broadcast, maximum power. Her voice reached every human in space within seconds. The message was simple but world-changing. This is Admiral Parker, Supreme Commander of Human Defense Forces. Operation Longshot is now active. All peaceful protocols are canceled. All military protocols are authorized. The mask comes off today. Across the galaxy, humans who had spent their lives pretending to be something they were not finally stopped pretending. The transformation was immediate and shocking. Captain Nicole Davis felt a wave of relief as she dropped her disguise as a peaceful trader. Her ship, the UES Merchant, had always been a lie. Now she could show its true nature. The fake cargo containers slid away to reveal rows of missiles and energy cannons. Weapons online, Captain, reported her tactical officer, Lieutenant Mark Johnson. We have 15 Vorthak ships within range. They still think we are carrying farming supplies. Target their command ship. Let them see what human farming supplies really look like. The first shot from the UES Merchant punched through the Vorthak ship's shields like they were made of paper. The aliens had designed their shields to stop the weapons they knew about. They had never seen human military technology. Colonel Ben Carter watched from his command center as the agricultural colony on Tau Ceti Prime revealed its true nature. The peaceful domes that covered the surface split open like mechanical flowers. Beneath each dome was a massive defense cannon pointing toward the sky. Sir, we have 23 Vorthak ships approaching. They are broadcasting surrender demands. Ben smiled. Answer them. Tell them we reject their demands. Then show them what human farmers grow in their spare time. The first salvo from Tau Ceti's hidden weapons caught the alien fleet completely by surprise. The Vorthak had expected to face defenseless colonists. Instead, they found themselves under attack by military-grade orbital cannons that could crack open their largest battleships. Dr. Rachel Thompson activated the control systems for her botanical research on Titan. The greenhouse domes across the moon's surface began to glow with an eerie green light. Inside, her specially designed plants started to pulse with electronic signals. These were not normal plants. Rachel had spent 15 years creating organic computers that could think and communicate. Each plant was part of a vast biological network that connected human installations across dozens of star systems. Network activation complete, she reported to her team. All human defense systems are now connected through the BioNet. We can coordinate attacks across the entire galaxy in real time. The plant network began its work immediately. Human ships separated by hundreds of light years could now work together as if they were in the same solar system. The aliens had superior numbers, but humans had superior coordination. Commander Alex Turner stopped pretending to be a cultural exchange coordinator. His real identity was finally revealed to the aliens who had worked with him for 8 years. He was the head of human intelligence operations, and he knew more about alien military secrets than their own generals. Activate all sleeper agents, he ordered. Begin Phase 2 intelligence operations. Across alien space, humans who had spent years posing as diplomats, artists, and researchers dropped their covers. They had been spies all along, gathering information and preparing for this moment. On the Vorthak homeworld, a human art teacher named Professor Linda Gray activated hidden devices that began jamming alien military communications. On the Zephyrian colony worlds, Human students revealed themselves as saboteurs who had been mapping alien defense systems for years. Major Katie, Lewis stood in the command center of Luna Base as sections of Earth's moon opened to reveal the massive military installation hidden inside. The moon had been humanity's greatest secret for 50 years. All weapon batteries online, her weapons officer reported. We have targeting solutions on the alien fleet surrounding Earth. Fire at will. Show them why humans chose Earth's moon as their fortress. The first blast from Luna's main cannon vaporized a Vorthak battleship instantly. The weapon used technology that combined human engineering with secrets stolen from all the alien races. It was more powerful than anything the aliens had ever built. General Chris Anderson coordinated the global defense from his command post in Earth's orbital ring. The ring had always been described as a research station and spaceport. The aliens who visited it saw laboratories and docking bays for civilian ships. The truth was that the orbital ring was the largest weapons platform ever constructed. Hidden weapon ports opened all around the ring's circumference, revealing enough firepower to sterilize entire star systems. Status report from all sectors, Chris demanded. Mars Command reports full activation. Jupiter Station is online. The asteroid belt mining platforms have revealed their true nature as weapons factories. Chris nodded. The asteroid belt had been the perfect cover. For decades, humans had claimed to be mining metals and rare elements from the asteroids. They had been mining materials, but they had also been building weapons factories inside the larger asteroids. Captain Derek Johnson commanded a squadron of ships that had been pretending to be civilian transports. His 6 ships regularly carried supplies and passengers between human colonies. The aliens were used to seeing them and paid no attention to their movements. When Operation Longshot began, Derek's ships dropped their civilian disguises. The passenger compartments were fake, hiding advanced weapons and military equipment. The cargo bays contained enough firepower to destroy a small space station. All ships execute Wolfpack Formation Alpha, Derek ordered. Target the Zephyrian fleet near Proxima. The human ships moved like hunting wolves, surrounding the alien vessels and attacking from multiple directions. The Zephyrians had never seen tactics like this before. Their swarm fighting methods were useless against the coordinated human assault. Lieutenant Commander Melissa Clark had spent her career in what the aliens thought was human psychological research. She studied how different species thought and communicated. The aliens considered her work harmless scientific curiosity. Melissa's real job was developing psychological warfare techniques. She had spent years learning how to break alien minds, how to make them doubt their leaders, and how to turn their own fears against them. Begin Operation Mindbreak, she announced to her team. Broadcast the truth about the conspiracy to all alien worlds. Within hours, every alien civilian in the galaxy was learning the truth about what their governments had planned. The broadcast showed evidence of the plot to enslave humanity. They revealed how alien leaders had betrayed the principles of the coalition. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien civilians began questioning their leaders. Protests broke out on major alien worlds. The unity that the conspirators needed for their plan began to collapse. Dr. Patrick Moore had always claimed to be a medical researcher studying alien biology. He ran clinics that provided healthcare to aliens living in human space. His reputation for healing and helping others was known throughout the coalition. Patrick's real expertise was in interrogation and information extraction. The medical knowledge he used to heal aliens could also be used to break them down psychologically. His clinics were actually intelligence-gathering centers. Bring me the captured Vorthak officers, Patrick ordered. It is time they learned that human medicine can do more than heal. Commander Sandra Phillips managed what everyone thought was a communications relay network that helped different species talk to each other across the galaxy. The relays were spread throughout human space, providing translation services and message routing. The relays were actually sophisticated AI systems that had been learning alien communication patterns for decades. They could predict alien tactics, break alien codes, and coordinate human responses faster than any organic mind. All relay stations, switch to combat mode, Sandra commanded. Begin active countermeasures against alien communications. The alien fleet suddenly found themselves blind and deaf. Their communications were jammed, their codes were broken, and their tactical networks were under constant attack by AI systems that knew their weaknesses better than they did. Captain Gary Stevens revealed the most devastating secret of all. His ship and others like it carried weapons that had been built using reverse-engineered alien technology. Humans had taken the best weapons from each alien race and improved them. The Vorthak faced their own energy weapons, but with human modifications that made them 3 times more powerful. The Zephyrians encountered improved versions of their own swarming missiles, but these missiles hunted in patterns the Zephyrians could not counter. Target the ethereal command vessel, Gary ordered. Use their own energy manipulation technology against them. The ethereal beings who had thought themselves safe in their energy forms discovered that humans had learned to fight energy with energy. The weapons that struck them were based on ethereal technology, but refined by human engineering into something far more deadly. As the first day of open warfare ended, General Chris Anderson stood before the holographic display that showed 12 star systems engulfed in warfare. The map glowed with thousands of red dots representing battles between human and alien forces. What had started as a conspiracy to enslave humanity had become the largest war in galactic history. Status report from all fronts, Chris demanded from his command center in Earth's orbital ring. The Vorthak Third Fleet has been destroyed at Alpha Centauri, reported his aide, Colonel Jennifer White. The Zephyrian swarms are retreating from the Tau Ceti system. Proxima Base reports complete victory over the Luxari crystal ships. Chris nodded grimly. The aliens were learning that their 200 years of underestimating humanity had been a fatal mistake. Every battle showed them new human capabilities they had never suspected. Captain Derek Johnson led his Wolfpack squadron through the debris field that had once been a Vorthak battle fleet. His ships moved like hunters, seeking out survivors and ensuring that no alien vessel escaped to report human tactics to their commanders. Contact bearing 27 Mark IV. His sensor operator announced. Single Vorthak destroyer trying to hide in the asteroid field. Let it think it is hidden, Derek replied. Alpha and Beta wings circle around. Charlie wing, stay with me. We hunt as a pack. The Vorthak destroyer never knew what hit it. Derek's ships appeared from 3 directions at once, firing with devastating precision. The alien vessel was destroyed before it could send a distress signal. This was how humans fought their war. Not with massive fleets clashing in open space, but with small groups using superior tactics and coordination. The aliens had more ships, but humans had better strategy. Lieutenant Commander Melissa Clark worked from her psychological warfare center on Mars, broadcasting carefully crafted messages to alien civilian populations throughout the galaxy. Her team had studied alien minds for years, learning exactly what would break their morale. The Vorthak homeworld is requesting an end to the truthcasts, her assistant reported. Their civilian government is threatening to overthrow the military leadership. Increase the broadcasts, Melissa ordered. Show them more evidence of how their leaders plan to betray the coalition principles. Make them understand that their own governments are the real enemy. The psychological war was proving as effective as the military one. Alien civilians were learning that their leaders had planned to enslave an entire species. Protests erupted on dozens of worlds as the public demanded answers from their governments. Dr. Patrick Moore interrogated captured Vorthak Admiral Krexthor in a facility hidden beneath Europa Station. The reptilian commander had been so confident when his fleet surrounded what he thought was a defenseless research base. Now he sat in chains, his yellow eyes filled with fear. Tell me about Phase 4 of your invasion plan, Patrick said calmly. I will tell you nothing, human, Krexthor hissed. You are supposed to be weak. You are supposed to be peaceful. Patrick smiled and activated a device that sent precise electromagnetic pulses through the Vorthak's nervous system. It caused no permanent damage, but the pain was extraordinary. We were never weak, Patrick explained as Krexthor screamed. We were just pretending. Now tell me about Phase 4, or I will show you what human medical knowledge can really do, Commander. Sandra Phillips coordinated the electronic warfare assault. From her command center on Luna Base, her AI systems had completely infiltrated alien communication networks, turning the enemy's own technology against them. We have achieved total information dominance, she reported to General Anderson. The alien fleets cannot communicate with their home worlds. Their tactical networks are under our control. Sandra's greatest achievement was turning the alien fleet coordination systems into weapons against themselves. Zephyrian swarm ships began attacking each other when their control signals were hijacked. Vorthak vessels received false orders that sent them into human ambushes. The Luxari crystal ships were particularly vulnerable to electronic attack. Their entire consciousness existed as energy patterns that could be manipulated by human quantum computers. Sandra's team had learned to rewrite Luxari thought patterns, turning enemy ships into allies within minutes. Captain Gary Stevens commanded the human fleet's most devastating weapon, ships equipped with reverse-engineered alien technology that had been improved beyond anything the original creators could imagine. His flagship carried weapons based on technology from all 8 coalition species. Target the ethereal command cluster, Gary ordered his weapons officer. Use the energy disruption cannons. The weapons that struck the ethereal formation were based on the ethereal's own energy manipulation technology, but enhanced with human engineering. The energy beings who had thought themselves invulnerable found their forms being torn apart by their own principles turned against them. Ethereal cluster destroyed. Captain, his tactical officer reported, their support ships are retreating. Gary's ships represented humanity's ultimate advantage. While the aliens had focused on perfecting their own technologies, humans had studied everyone's technology and learned to combine the best elements into something entirely new. Major Robert Kim led the ground assault on Vorthak Colony 7, one of the key staging areas for the alien invasion fleet. The colony was supposed to be protected by natural defenses and automated weapon systems that no ground force could overcome. The Vorthak had never seen human ground combat tactics. Robert's soldiers moved like ghosts through the alien city, using stealth technology adapted from ethereal energy manipulation and Nexus mechanical systems. They struck without warning and vanished before the aliens could respond. Primary command center secured, Robert reported to his superiors. Enemy ground forces are surrendering. They say they have never seen fighting like this before. The ground war showed the same pattern as the space battles. Alien forces that seemed overwhelming on paper crumbled when faced with human tactics they had never imagined possible. Dr. Amanda Wright led the intelligence analysis team that was rewriting galactic history in real time. Her job was to ensure that every species in the galaxy understood the truth about what had been happening behind the scenes for 30 years. We have confirmed the ethereal involvement at the highest levels, Amanda announced during the daily briefing. They were not just participants in the conspiracy, they were the coordinators. This revelation shocked even the human leadership. The ethereals had always presented themselves as the most enlightened species in the galaxy, beings of pure thought, who had evolved beyond physical conflict. The truth was that they had been manipulating events from the beginning. Commander Luke Davis commanded the human fleet that surrounded the Zephyrian homeworld. His ships had appeared overnight, using stealth technology that made them invisible until they chose to reveal themselves. Broadcasting surrender terms to the planetary government, his communications officer reported. Make sure they understand their situation, Luke replied. They are completely surrounded by ships they cannot see. Their orbital defenses have been neutralized. Their only choice is surrender or destruction. The Zephyrian response was immediate. The insectoid race that had once seemed so confident in their swarm tactics now begged for mercy from the humans. They had planned to enslave. General Patricia Stone coordinated the liberation of human colonies that had been secretly surrounded by alien fleets. For months, these colonies had been under hidden surveillance, preparing to be conquered when the conspiracy began. Colony liberation is proceeding ahead of schedule, Patricia reported. The aliens positioned to invade our worlds have become trapped between our hidden defenses and our mobile fleets. The irony was perfect. The alien ships that had been positioned to conquer human colonies were now surrounded and cut off from their supply lines. The hunters had become the hunted. Captain Lisa Rodriguez commanded the deep strike mission against the Nexus machine intelligence that had remained neutral in the conspiracy. The machines had refused to join the plot against humanity, but they also had not warned humans about it. Approaching Nexus Core Station, Lisa announced to her crew, "Remember, we are here to talk, not to fight." The machines chose neutrality over betrayal. The meeting with the Nexus representatives was unlike anything in galactic history. For the first time, an artificial intelligence was negotiating with humans as equals rather than looking down on them as primitive biologicals. We calculated the probability of human victory at 12%, the lead Nexus unit admitted. We were wrong. Your species exceeds all statistical models. Colonel William Carter led the final assault on the Vorthak military headquarters, hidden in the asteroid belt near their home system. The facility was supposed to be impregnable, protected by natural barriers and the most advanced defenses in alien space. "Defenses are down," his assault leader reported. "The facility is ours." Inside the captured headquarters, human intelligence teams discovered the complete records of the conspiracy. The files showed 30 years of planning, detailed invasion schedules, and lists of human colonies marked for occupation. Most shocking of all were the files describing what the aliens had planned to do with humanity after the conquest. Humans would have been kept as servants and researchers. Admiral Christine Baker stood on the bridge of the UES Dominion as the last Vorthak fleet approached the battle site near Wolf 359. The star system had been chosen for the final confrontation because it held special meaning for humanity. It was here that humans had first met the Vorthak 2 centuries ago and begun the great deception that had protected Earth for so long. Incoming transmission from the Vorthak fleet, her communications officer announced. "Put it through, Supreme." Commander Krexthor appeared on the main screen, his reptilian features showing defeat and exhaustion. The proud alien leader who had planned humanity's enslavement now looked broken and desperate. "Admiral Baker, we request terms for surrender," Krexthor said, his voice barely above a whisper. Christine had been waiting for this moment for 18 months of brutal warfare. The Vorthak fleet before her represented the last organized resistance to human authority in this part of the galaxy. "Unconditional surrender," Christine replied. "Your weapons will be transferred to human control. Your government will be dissolved. Your people will accept human oversight until we decide you can be trusted again." The silence stretched for long minutes before Krexthor nodded his great head. "We accept your terms." President Jonathan Hayes sat in his office in what had once been the United Nations building in New York. The building had been expanded and reinforced over the years, but now it served as the headquarters for something much larger than Earth's government. It was the center of human galactic authority. Jonathan looked out at the city below, where alien delegates waited to meet with him. Representatives from 6 species had come to Earth to negotiate the terms of their people's future. They came not as equals but as defeated enemies seeking mercy from their conquerors. "Sir, the alien delegates are ready for the meeting," his aide informed him. "Send them in. It is time they learned how the galaxy will work from now on." The delegation that entered his office represented the greatest military powers the galaxy had ever known, but they came with heads bowed and voices quiet. The Vorthak spoke for their reptilian empire, the Zephyrians for their insect swarms, and the others for their respective peoples. "We come seeking peace," the lead delegate said. "You will have peace," Jonathan replied. "Human peace, under human terms, in the new galactic order we are creating." Commander Laura Bennett established the first human military governorship on the Vorthak homeworld. The planet that had been the center of the conspiracy against humanity was now under direct human control. Laura's job was to ensure that the Vorthak learned to live under their new reality. "The transition is proceeding smoothly," Laura reported to Earth Command. "The Vorthak civilian population is cooperating with human authority. Their former military leaders are in detention awaiting war crimes trials." The sight of human soldiers patrolling Vorthak cities would have been unimaginable 2 years ago. Now it was simply the new reality. The species that had planned to enslave humanity found themselves living under human rule. Dr. Amanda Wright led the Truth Commission that was rewriting galactic history. Her teams worked on every world to ensure that the real story of human development was taught in schools throughout Coalition space. No longer would alien children learn lies about peaceful, harmless humans. "The new history curriculum is ready for distribution," Amanda announced to the Commission. "Every species will learn about human warfare, human conquest, and human military genius." The history books that had hidden humanity's true nature were being replaced with accurate accounts of human wars, strategies, and technological development. Alien students would learn about Napoleon, Alexander, Sun Tzu, and countless other human military leaders. They would understand that humanity had not evolved beyond war. They had simply chosen to hide their capabilities until the right moment came. Captain Tyler Morgan commanded the Joint Human Nexus Patrol Fleet that maintained order in former Vorthak territory. The Nexus machines had earned their place as humanity's junior partners by refusing to join the conspiracy and providing valuable assistance during the war. The former Zephyrian colonies are reporting full compliance with human directives, Tyler's Nexus counterpart informed him. Their swarm ships have been successfully converted to human command protocols. The partnership with the Nexus machines was one of the few bright spots in the new galactic order. The artificial intelligences had proven themselves worthy allies by standing aside during the conspiracy and helping humans understand alien technology during the war. General Michelle Price stood before the assembled representatives of what had once been called the Galactic Coalition Defense Force. The organization was being reformed under human leadership with new purposes and new priorities. The old coalition failed because it was built on lies and secret conspiracies, Michelle announced to the gathering. The new defense force will be built on human strength and human leadership. The alien officers who had once commanded mighty fleets now served under human authority. Their ships flew with human crews, their weapons were controlled by human computers, and their missions were planned by human strategists. Any species that wishes to remain part of the galactic community will accept human military oversight, Michelle continued. Those who refuse will find themselves alone in a galaxy, controlled by those who were wise enough to cooperate. Colonel Paul Wright filed his final report on the transformation of galactic civilization from his office on Luna Base. As the war's primary strategic analyst, he had been tasked with documenting how humanity achieved what everyone thought was impossible. The key to our victory was patience, Paul wrote in his report. For 2 centuries, we allowed our enemies to believe they knew who we were. We let them think we were sheep, so they never saw the wolves we really were. Paul's report would become required reading at military academies throughout human space. It detailed how humanity had used deception, intelligence gathering, and strategic planning to overcome enemies with superior numbers and technology. The aliens made the fatal error of judging us by our words rather than our capabilities, the report continued. They listened to what we told them about human nature instead of studying what humans had actually accomplished throughout history. Commander Sarah Phillips managed the integration of alien technology into human military systems. Her teams worked to ensure that the weapons and ships captured during the war could be operated by human crews and used to maintain the new galactic order. Integration is proceeding ahead of schedule, Sarah reported. We now have operational control over 60% of the galaxy's military assets. The remaining 40% is divided between our allies and species that pose no threat. The technological advantage that aliens had once held over humanity was gone forever. Human engineers had not only mastered alien technology, they had improved it beyond anything the original creators had imagined possible. Director Kevin Torres established the new galactic communication network that ensured human authority could be maintained across thousands of star systems. The network replaced the old coalition systems with technology that gave humans complete control over interstellar communication. All major alien worlds are now connected to the human network, Kevin announced. We can monitor their communications, control their information flow, and ensure that our messages reach every citizen in the galaxy. The communication network was both a practical tool for governing the galaxy and a symbol of human dominance. Every message sent between alien worlds now passed through human computers, ensuring that no new conspiracies could develop without human knowledge. Captain Maria Lopez commanded the human fleet that patrolled the galactic core, ensuring that the ethereal energy beings remained under control in their home dimension. The ethereals had been revealed as the true masterminds behind the conspiracy, and they required special handling. The ethereal containment field is stable, Maria reported. They are cut off from the physical universe except for supervised communication with our diplomatic teams. The ethereals who had thought themselves above physical concerns now found themselves trapped by human technology that could manipulate energy as effectively as matter. They had learned too late that underestimating human ingenuity was a fatal mistake. Admiral Helen Parker reflected on the transformation as she prepared to retire from active command. The woman who had led humanity through its greatest war could finally rest, knowing that her species' future was secure. We spent 200 years being underestimated, Helen said in her final address to the human military. We let them think we were weak because it gave us time to become strong. We let them plan our enslavement because it revealed their true nature to the galaxy. The retirement ceremony was attended by representatives from across human space and beyond. Alien delegates who had once looked down on humans as primitive servants now stood to honor the architect of their defeat. The galaxy has learned an important lesson, Helen continued. Never judge a species by the face they choose to show you. Humanity's greatest weapon was not our technology or our tactics. It was our ability to make our enemies believe a lie for 2 centuries. As Helen's speech ended and the ceremony concluded, the new reality of galactic civilization was clear to everyone present.